Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my videos where today, instead of talking about each team, like their standings in each division, we're going to be talking about power rankings today. And the NFL season kicks off in about a week and a half, so we're going to do some preseason NFL power rankings, and I plan to do videos like power rankings like during the season too, like after each week, every couple weeks. I don't know. We'll see how I end up doing it. Kicking off at number 32, we have the New Orleans Saints. And the Saints, we don't know who their starting quarterback is, and the season starts in not even less than 2 weeks from now. So that's worrisome. They are going to be going with Tyler Show or whatever, or Spencer Rattler, which they both have actually looked decent in the preseason. But again, they're not playing against a starting caliber defense, and it's just going to be extremely difficult to begin the year for New Orleans. I think they're going to really struggle with the new coach in Kellen Moore, and they don't have that many offensive weapons besides Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave, so it's going to be a tough year for New Orleans in a rebuild. Number 31, we have the Indianapolis Colts, who are in a very similar situation to what the Saints are, but they do have their quarterback figured out right now. It's going to be Daniel Jones, who, besides 2022, has been very, very, very mediocre for most of his career, and Giants fans are so glad he's gone. So I don't see the Colts doing very well. I think their defense still is not very good. I think they got a good tight end in Tyler Warren in the draft. I do like the receivers. They have good depth, but I don't think Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson, if he does end up taking over, is going to end up doing very good. So I think the Colts are in for like a 4-13 year this year. At number 30, we have the Cleveland Browns, and Cleveland has it's like 5 or 6 different quarterbacks in there right now that honestly could all have a shot at starting. But Joe Flacco is going to be their week 1 starter, and it's either going to be handed over to Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel at whatever point in the year. But they're in a very tough division. The AFC is very tough. It's not going to be easy for Cleveland. I think that they can be good. I really do think that they have a shot to be a better team this year, but I don't see that happening right now. I don't think that their defense is going to be very, very good. I don't like their offense, honestly, that much. It's going to be, a rebuild and beyond for Cleveland right now. At number 29, we have the Tennessee Titans, which Tennessee drafted a quarterback in the draft this year. They drafted Cam Ward, number 1 overall, but I do not like their coach at all. I don't like him. I don't think that their offense is really skilled enough to really compete at a high level and compete with Houston for the division quite yet. I think they have a shot at upsetting a couple teams like Houston, but right now I don't see them making the playoffs. I think in the near future they can, but that they're on the uphill rise. But right now they're just not ready to compete quite yet. At number 28, we have the Carolina Panthers, which Carolina is coming off a strong end to their season with Bryce Young playing out of his mind. But I think that Ted McMillan could be really good. I think that they have good offensive weapons. However, they might be losing Adam Thielen to Minnesota if that trade ends up happening. But I still believe in Carolina that they really, really can be good this year. And I think if Bryce Young does take that next, another step that he took in year 2, this team can compete with the Bucs and Falcons for the division this year. And they have a shot at making the playoffs. I don't think it'll happen yet. I do think that they need to get a little bit better draft capital. I think that they can do some free agency splashes. This team next year could make the playoffs, but they're very close to it. I think if Bryce Young takes that leap up, this team could definitely make the playoffs this year. At number 27, we have the New York Jets, and the Jets just got rid of Aaron Rodgers. They added Justin Fields, but other than that, I don't think they did that much. They lost C.J. Mosley, a very, very good linebacker. They lost Devontae Adams as well. They're going to be sticking with Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall as their best offensive weapons, which isn't bad. But I think that, if Justin Fields plays good like he did in Ohio State, this team can be good. They can win 8 or 9 games, but I don't see them doing very good. I think 5-12 could be what they do this year. I don't think they'll be any better than what they were with Aaron Rodgers. So I just don't think that they're quite ready yet. I think they still have to figure out what their quarterback of the future is going to be, and I don't think it's going to be Justin Fields. At number 26, we have the Arizona Cardinals, and the only reason Arizona is this low is because of how tough their schedule is, how tough of a division they play in, and just the inconsistency of Kyler Murray and that offense all around and defense. Because last year they started the year 6-4, leading the NFC West, just to end the year at 8-9 and falling off offensively, defensively. That's just been the story of the Cardinals ever since Kyler Murray's been drafted, and I just don't see that changing this year. I think 6-11 is going to be the record and last in their division. Like they just been like stuck at the same team. Besides adding a couple key weapons like Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison, but this team is just not ever competing to the level they should be. At number 25, we have the New York Giants. And the Giants, honestly, I love their quarterback room this year. I love that they have the veteran presence of Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. So when inevitably Jackson Dart ends up starting, because he looked really, really good in this preseason, which I know it's preseason and we do tend to hype up teams that shouldn't be getting hyped up in the preseason, but I think that he could be their quarterback of the future. I don't see them having a lot of success this year just because of how tough of a schedule they have, honestly. But this team can compete. This team can pull off some upsets. I like Brian Daboll as their coach. They have a really good defense, underratedly, and a monster D-line. And I like this team can be competitive in the near future. I just think that they have to get an easier schedule and maybe a couple better receivers to make the playoffs a very good possibility. At number 24, we have the Chicago Bears. And the Bears are coming off a year where they started 4-2, ended up 5-12, and didn't win another game until Week 18 against Malik Willis's Green Bay Packers. But they have looked strong in the preseason. Caleb Williams looked decent in the preseason, but against the Chiefs yesterday, he looked like his same old self, held the ball too long, and got sacked. Which, if that's the case, this team will be no better than 7-10. Like, this team cannot do good if Caleb Williams does not play better, and like he has to be better this sophomore season if this team wants a chance at making the playoffs this year, which is definitely possible. At number 23, we have the Las Vegas Raiders, which I really do like the Raiders this year, but they do play in a very tough division in the AFC West, and the AFC is generally tough. Like, this is going to be a very tough division to win games. The Raiders, I like Pete Carroll, I like Geno Smith, I like Ashton Jeanty. I do think this team has a shot at maybe making the playoffs, but they have to really upset a lot of teams, and they have to perform at a very high level all 18 weeks if they do want a chance at making the playoffs this year. At number 22 is the New England Patriots. And New England definitely got better in the offseason with the addition of Stephon Diggs, and Drake May can only get better from here as the full-time starter now, not Jacoby Brissett this time to start the year. Drake May is going to be leading the offense all year, and this team really, they can be good. I like their defense. I love Mike Vrabel as a head coach. He's definitely a top-tier coach in the NFL, period. So New England can't compete this year. I think that if Drake May really takes that a sophomore step ahead, this team can be competitive and honestly make the playoffs. But playing in a division with the Bills and Dolphins, who the Dolphins usually play very, very strong against the Patriots, I don't see them making the playoffs quite yet. But this team is on the uphill rise, and they honestly can't perform very, very well this year. At number 21, we have the Jacksonville Jags. And the Jags, they added Travis Hunter in a trade with Cleveland, which is crazy that Cleveland gave that up, but they did. And Travis Hunter is now the starting receiver and I think corner for Jacksonville. And I like the Jags, I really do. Trevor Lawrence can stay healthy, and he can go to his 2022 form. This team can make the playoffs and maybe win that division over Houston. But I think that they can be a good wild card team this year, but they have to perform and they cannot get hurt again this year. At number 20, we have the Atlanta Falcons. In Atlanta, I do not like Raheem Morris. Michael Penix, he can be very, very good, but I don't see him really being good. I think he's honestly going to be one of the worst quarterbacks in this draft. I just don't have a good feeling about him. I think he holds the ball a lot. But that's how I feel about Atlanta. I do like their offensive weapons. I do like their defense, but I don't like them playing in a division with Tampa Bay. Or I just think Tampa Bay is a better team. They have a better coach. So I like that Atlanta can be a wild card team, but I think the only way they make the playoffs is if Tampa Bay falls off this year and they win the division as the 4th seed. At number 19, a couple places higher than the Patriots, comes Miami, and a healthy Miami Dolphins team with Tua taking care of the ball and not being hurt this is an 11-win football team, but with him hurt and how often he does get hurt, this team will fall behind like they always do and miss the playoffs inevitably. But this team can be good this year, but I don't think Miami's gonna make the playoffs. They play in the same division as the Bills do, and the Patriots are gonna be more competitive, and you can't count out the Jets for upsetting them once or twice maybe. But the Dolphins can be good. I just don't see them being a playoff team. The only way they make the playoffs is if they actually perform well against playoff caliber teams, which ever since Tua has became the quarterback of the Dolphins, they just have not done that. At number 18 is the Seattle Seahawks. And I do like Seattle. I like the addition of a younger Sam Darnold other than Geno Smith. I think that they can do good. But I think that, with their coach and who they have at quarterback, I don't know. They went 10-7 last year. It's going to be an uphill battle with team chemistry. They just got rid of DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, so now they're with Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith-Njigba, which are 2 good receivers, don't get me wrong. But we just got to see if Cooper Kupp ends up playing for Seattle, and hopefully he doesn't get hurt. And just this team can't be a definite wild card team. It's just they play in a tough division. And that's how I think that they can make the playoffs, but I don't think they're a Super Bowl caliber team at all yet. I don't think that they will be with Sam Darnold as that quarterback. At number 17 is the Minnesota Vikings, which I don't want to put Minnesota this low, and I really think that if J.J. McCarthy is the guy and performs even like how Sam Darnold did last year for Minnesota, this team is a 12-14-1 football team, and this team will be in top 10 power rankings all year long. I really do like Minnesota. I love their offense. But only having Justin Jefferson there and Jalen Nailor dealing with injuries and Jordan Addison already suspended for the first 3 games, not good. But if they add Adam Thielen back, they'll be good. I really do think Minnesota can be a top 10 team in the league this year. It'll just matter on how J.J. McCarthy plays. That's all that it'll come down to. And at number 16, and tapping off the rest of this episode or this video of Power Rankings, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Pittsburgh will always be that middle of the pack team, always. They'll always be 10-7 or 9-8. They'll barely sneak into the playoffs. But I do like the addition of Aaron Rodgers. I think he'll be better than what Russell Wilson was for Pittsburgh. I like Aaron Rodgers. He's not in his prime, obviously. He's not the same quarterback he was, but he will lead his team to a good amount of victories like usual. And I always will like Mike Tomlin. That defense really did get better with Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay. They did lose Mika Fitzpatrick, though, which is a bummer, especially for team chemistry and how good he just was for Pittsburgh. But I like DK Metcalf, Pat Freiermuth. Like, this team is going to be not bad. They'll upset some teams, but they do play in a very, very tough division. So it'll be tough this year to make the playoffs or get a winning record, but I have no doubts in Mike Tomlin, and I do trust this team. That's going to wrap it up for this video because we're already at about 15 minutes of recording, which I don't like recording long videos because, I don't know how many people are going to stick around to the end, but if you did stick around to the end, thank you so much for doing that, and go Bills like usual, and we're so close, guys, so close. This is the last day of preseason. Let's enjoy it. First day of college football's today. Enjoy that, and I'll see you guys soon.